All right, welcome back. Second part of our video. We have a little bit of layer management to do before we can start painting, but don't worry, you'll be painting in no time by the end of this lesson for sure. For anybody who's new to Sketchbook, what I just did there will let you zoom in and out. It's literally just pinching and pulling. Also, you can rotate by turning your fingers left or right. Don't worry though if the angle changes and you can't quite get it back to zero. That is just for you, the designer. When it prints, or when I go to print it anyway, it'll go back to the default, perfect as it was. So we need to duplicate this layer. We want to save a backup of our stock photo, like we did with Photoshop. So to do that, just click on the layer, click on it again. You can tell which layer you have selected because of a blue outline around it on the right of the screen. So once I have it selected, if I just click it again, all these different options come up. A couple things we want to do. First things first is we want to duplicate it. We're going to be painting on that layer instead. So if you look at all the options, the very top right one says duplicate. Go ahead and click that and you'll see that it makes a copy. The original one now, if you click back on the bottom one, let's click on it again, open up all these options. And what we want to do is lock this layer. So we're done with it. And to do that, if you look at the bottom left of all the major options anyway, you'll see lock layer. Go ahead and click that. A little lock icon will appear in the thumbnail where my blue selected layer is. So what that does is it disables us from possibly editing the photo. So let's use the top one and we're going to leave that top one unlocked. That's going to be our painting layer. Now we can really begin painting. Let me introduce you to the Smudge tool, go over some settings with it, and then really the rest is kind of you figuring it out and taking some time to explore. So on the left side of the screen, you're going to have all your different pens, pencils, erasers, tools, really. The one that I currently have selected, it is the third from the bottom, is the actual Smudge tool. There are other ones in here, but in my opinion, this basic one or standard one is my favorite. You can tell which tool you have selected again by it being blue in the icon around it. Alternatively, just to show you, but again, I recommend this one right now that I have selected. If you click at the top left of all the tools, above the pencil tool, the triangle-like icon, that will bring you to your library or your settings. You can tell which one you are by the blue text up here. Under library, you can see the top selection of pens and whatnot are basic, and then they have a bunch of other ones in here. I think if you go down very far, or not very far, but halfway down, you'll see that there are actual smudge tools that mimic real paintbrushes. So these are cool to play around with, and I do say play around with them. Something goes wrong, you can delete it, but I'll give you guys adequate class time to check these out right here. I think I will honestly be doing mine exclusively in this one, honestly, right here. It looks really good. Once you have that tool selected, check out settings here real quick. I don't think I'd really worry about anything in advanced. Doesn't really quite seem to be necessary, in my opinion. Under basic, there are two really important things and a third one that will be up to you, and you're going to change it as you work. The really important ones are flow and strength. You need them at a very low percentage. I have mine at 14 and 12 right now. I would recommend that you don't go any higher than 15 and that you don't go any lower than about 5. 14 and 12 have been working really well for me. Check that out for yourself. What these do is kind of determine how much it smudges. If it's too low, if it's below 10, in all honesty, you don't really get that much of a smudge. If it's too high, it just smudges a ton and it doesn't really look that good anymore. The size of the brush is up to you, and it depends on what you're painting. You're painting something detailed, you're going to want to, go with a smaller size. You're painting a sky, you might want to go bigger. I don't think I went or will be going any bigger than 60, 70-ish, give or take. But you're going to want to change your size frequently. So when you're out and about painting, a quick way to do it without going in and opening up this is kind of the top left on the side of the tools. You'll see this slider right here that I'm hovering over or sliding up and down. This will change your size for you, which is awesome. I think it caps out at a certain size, but I don't think we'll be even going close to that. So I'll go to, let's say maybe 30 right now. And I'm going to zoom in by pinching on, if you accidentally make a little mistake like I just did right there with that smudge in that tree, towards the top left in the top icons, you're going to have the undo button. It's the second from the left, like a left swoosh. There you go. And just keep clicking that over and over until you get all of your little marks away. The iPad screen protector is really annoying sometimes when zooming in, so don't worry if that does make a mistake. So now that I have my brush here, I'm just going to go ahead and start smudging. Now, I noticed right away, I think too big possibly with this, so I'm going to undo. And I'm going to decrease my size. What's my other one? My flow. Maybe I'll up my flow a little bit. We'll see what that looks like now. Yeah, I'm much happier with that, but I still think I need a smaller size for detail work like this. Yep. And then we're gonna go ahead and paint. I recommend that you do more like taps, a lot of taps, because wherever you start your painting, the color will go from that point out, right? So if I were to take this tree branch, the brown part, and just keep it held down as I go into like the orange or the like blue sky, it might take too much brown. So continuously tap or restart by unclicking and clicking again on the screen. Go with the flow, follow, like I have tree branches here, so I'm going to follow the tree branches. If you have a building, be careful, go down the side of your building, don't do random strokes, like think about where you're going on them. Let me zoom out here, we'll take a little bit of like a before and after look. So if on my painting layer selected, the top right layer, if I click that eyeball, it'll go away and I can see my original photo and look at the difference between the two. It looks pretty good. Again, to save, top left icon, then click gallery, save current sketch, and that should bring us back to our gallery. And there we go. So use the rest of this time to kind of explore, change the size, change the flow settings, figure out what you want, and then you should be good to go.